Hi guys, welcome back. Me again with another controversial opinion, as usual. Why I think you should not read the Stormlight Archive. First of all, let's start with the prose. If you're into special poetic prose, this is not the place for you. While Brandon is a great storyteller, his prose and average sounds like such a bad word, but there's no other way to describe it actually. But it's not great. It's middle of the park overall. He has some great one-liners, but yeah, that's kind of it actually. Second, pacing. The slowness of book 1, A Way of Kings, is excruciating. He has built up such an amazing and big world that he needs a lot of time to actually explain it, and because there are so many different characters as well, he needs a lot of time to set this up, especially for a 10-book series. The first book is actually all set up, so I mean, overall in the series, 10% of world building is not that bad, but if the series is, give or take, 15,000 pages long, then yeah, 1,500 pages of build-up is a lot, and it is slow. Third part, the Bloat. Especially the later two books come to mind because of that, because I think he's written about, let's say about 1.5 million, give or take, words in the Stormlight Archive. So that means, I think roughly 350,000. So one of the books actually could be omitted entirely. A lot of useless stuff in book 1 and 2 that, while have still had not that much importance in the story. I mean, it's a great addition to the world building, but if it would be cut, or if it wouldn't have been in the book at all, it would not make any difference. Fourth part, the magic system. While it's amazing, it's great, it's detailed, it's perfectly balanced, as usual, as you might expect from Brandon Sanderson, because he's made his trademark out of it. Especially in the first 2 books, the magical play-by-play, let's put it that way, is a bit over the top. It feels like I've seen it described as instructions to a movie stuntman. Every little move is detailed and I don't know, it feels like cut after cut. So yeah, that was kind of not my thing. It did get better in books 3 and 4, so I hope it'll get better as well. Or it will keep continuing on getting better. But for now, I think that's not really bothering me, but it's something that is starting to become mildly annoying, especially on a reread. I think it was not that great. There should be also some trigger warnings on it, just because in this book, especially in this book, it deals with a lot of mental health issues, depression, trauma, PTSD, split personality as the result or as a consequence of previous trauma, domestic abuse even. So yeah, mentally it's a bit strange. He does, however, bring in some great representation in other variants. Being there is someone who is sexually interested, although she is aromantic, and it's treated as perfectly normal. There are gay people that are treated as perfectly normal, as it should be, as I've already mentioned somewhere. I think it was in my Bands of Mourning review. The greatest thing about these representation romances are actually just being there and just being woven into the story. Speaking about this as a white straight male, of course, is always a bit of a double-edged sword, considering I have no experience in that field whatsoever. But I think the representation is amazing and it's great, so that's a good part of it. But on the other hand, there's violence, there's gore, there's these major traumas, there's suicidal tendencies, there's major depressions, there's general self-hatred as well in some cases with after PTSD. So for some people this might be considered as triggering, even though I do think that it's handled in a great way, to which my girlfriend, who is a psychologist, actually agreed after I had described it. So yeah, that's good and bad. And last but not least, Venli. God, I hate Venli. No, worse, I don't hate her. She makes me feel nothing, which is about the worst thing a character could ever do. I don't care for her. I have never cared for her, and I will never care for her either. I much more prefer her very interesting sister Eshenai, who was actually interesting, who actually had a personality instead of just being... I'm not going to say anything more about Venli because that might spoil her character arc, but let's just say she doesn't make me feel anything. And I found myself skipping, not skipping, but skimming through her chapters, even on the first read. I read about 2-3 chapters of her, maybe 4. So something went wrong with my video, but to continue, after those few chapters I read of Venli, I just said, okay, no, this is not going to happen for me because I don't care for her. So I read everything, but I read the synopses online. I skimmed through it and then just afterward I read the synopses so I could at least be up to speed with the story. But that's all I ever wanted. Not really knowing what's going on. I mean, I know what's going on, but I don't have to read about Venli. So yeah, I think that's a win for me. And especially in that situation, because I don't read books that I don't like, which is why I frequently DNF a book. That being said, I did love the Stormlight Archive books, even though I disliked some parts of it, some parts of every book even, because every book has this little thing I don't like, but that's beside the point. Next week though, I will be posting a video about why you should read the Stormlight Archive, because as I've already mentioned, I do love it and I think people should read it. So I hope to see you guys next week, and if you do, my mission's been accomplished. See you then guys, bye bye.